Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I want to do a very quick little Cruisin the Notables because there aren't very many in these notables tonight, and I want to get something up because the other one has taken me a lot longer to edit than I thought it would. So I'm going to do this one. Remember, I'm not editing anything on this, so you may hear me stutter and stumble and everything else under the sun, and I don't know what I'm going to find when I look down here. I kind of did like glance over them. So I'm not like I have not read them. I don't really know all that's there, but this is a little earlier in the evening. There were a couple boards after this. I just looked at this one because this one has to do with the botched election rig job, and I kind of wanted to see what they were talking about. So let's look to see what the Anons have. Remember, there might be some things that are not safe for work and maybe some bad language, but we'll just see what the Anons have come up with. And as always, the boards they want to make sure that everybody who reads the boards, I'm sorry, my brain kind of glitched right there. They want everybody who sees the boards to remember that we are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here. So remember, if people are trying to say somebody who is doing something bad or violent and they're doing it in the name of QAnon, they are not one of us, and we will not embrace that. We will reject it. Okay? We will denounce anybody who does that kind of stuff. So be aware of that. Okay, Q had some new posts and he made a new board, which is kind of exciting too. And he used exactly the same things, the same message on this board, this new one, as he made on the other one, at the first post on his previous board. And so this one is the same, except the picture is different. This time the picture is a gavel. So we're hoping that means justice, because that's what he said. That's what the title of the picture is. So we're hoping this means we're going to start seeing something happen here. Yay. He also posted that the voter ID law is going to be the death of the Democrat Party. Very cool. Because really, if they have voter ID, that takes the wind out of their sails, which you'll find out when you see my next video that deals with all of this, and it deals with a lot of the reason why this election was so different from all the others that we've had, at least since the 1980s, the early 80s. Okay, anyway, so let's scroll on down here. We'll go to the bottom and start there. It's always easier if we do it that way. Here are the previous excuse me. Here are the previous notables. It just, yeah. Anyway, Arizona GOP claims voter fraud. Yay! Republicans in Arizona and nationally are stoking claims of deliberate election fraud in the state's U.S. Senate race as Martha McSally and Kirsten Sinema wait results of a vote that could swing in either's favor. This is from azcentral.com. And votes, votes, votes. So this ought to be interesting. We're starting to see a lot of them. I honestly think that they had it planned this way all along. The more that I've looked into this, the more I think the whole thing. If you look at POTUS, when he was going around stumping, he was only talking really about the Senate. I mean, he really did not deal hardly at all. He'd introduce the representatives, the candidates for representative, but he would never really stump for them. I mean, he didn't say very much at all about them. And I noticed the pattern when he was doing that. I noticed it, and it was like, there's some reason why he's not really focused on the House. Well, the thing was, if they knew that this was going to kind of happen. And I really think that when everything starts coming out, there's just going to be so many arrests. And there's not going to be anybody left. They're going to have to get new people in because they won't have a lot of these positions filled if there is even a Democrat Party anymore. And like Q said, I just don't even know that there'll be a party. I mean, there's just a lot of arrests that are going to happen. A lot of people are very dirty. So Well, we need to get that corruption out. That's the whole thing. Okay, so we've got like something going on here in Arizona, which I do think that she probably should say that because, you know, it, she held a lead in early vote totals. The tally flipped in Sinema's favor Thursday night. Updated early results Friday morning kept Sinema with a 9,000 plus advantage, but an estimated 400,000 ballots remain to be counted. That's a lot of ballots. I mean, just really. And you know, the really bad thing is they always go towards the Democrats. But there's a reason for that. And again, it's going to be in my next video. I really do. I put a lot of work into that video, and there's some excellent resources. You're going to love it, okay? Gold covered fetuses and Kuman thong. Okay. Sanctified young boy. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Okay, I have no idea about that. Now remember that notables are just things that the Anons came across, and so they may or may not have any importance at all. They're just kind of, hey, something interesting. And so I have no idea what that has to do. That's kind of creepy. Rod Rosenstein delivered a speech today. Okay, and delivers remarks about oh at oh at Kavanaugh's investiture. That's interesting. Well, that was yesterday, wasn't it? Oh no, this is a different one. Okay. Anyway, so there's that, and that was on the Justice website if you want to see it, justice.gov. Non-repudiation definition. Okay, don't know why they've got that there. Anti-Semitism and the death of free speech. Political correctness is mental castration. Okay, I don't know. The pictures aren't coming up, which may or may not be a good thing. I don't know. Not something that I'm going to look more into, though. All right, Rosenstein calls Whitaker a superb choice for acting attorney general. By the way, this Whitaker guy, Q talked about him a long time ago because he was talking about how the 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 succession had to be if somebody stepped down, except we were all thinking it was Rosenstein, and it wasn't Rosenstein he was talking about, it was Sessions, and we just like it went over our heads. But at the time, I remember that Q brought out the fact that it had to be somebody who was Senate confirmed. This guy, this Whitaker, he was a U.S. attorney, so he was Senate confirmed. POTUS said it today as he was getting ready to get on Marine One. It was like, oh, yeah. Oh. So, anyway, that was exciting. I found that out. Or at least I remembered it. And when he said that, it triggered it in me. So, Rosenstein calls Whitaker this superb choice. Interesting choice of words. It's from KTVQ.com. CNN-US-politics. Interesting. Okay, superb choice. I really do think Rosenstein is in on this. The flight with with this. See, this is what you listen to when I don't edit. I think when he was on Air Force One with POTUS, like going down to Florida, I think he's in this plan. I think he knows he's playing a role. He is participating, I think, probably to get a lesser sentence because he is dirty. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. He's dirty. So is Mueller. They're both dirty. But if they can work with them and they can have them play their role and give them a lesser sentence, I'd be willing to trade, their lives instead of them being executed, having them spend the rest of their lives at Gitmo. I'd be okay with that as long as we get the big fish. And so if they can turn on the big fish, that would be wonderful. It'd be well worth it. I'd be happy with that. I do want to see them in prison, though. Okay? So no mistake on that, right? Rubio, Palm Beach County, filled out new ballots to replace damaged ones. Really? We care legally required witnesses. What in the world? This is Marco Rubio's tweet. A new and troubling allegation has emerged. A statement under penalty of perjury that Palm Beach County filled out new ballots to replace damaged ones without allowing campaign representative to witness the process of creating the new ballot as required by Florida law. This is like so obvious. These people are stupid. I mean, Q is right. These people are stupid. Uh, but you know what? They've gotten away with it for years and years and years. And they just don't know any other way to run a campaign. This is what they do. And they have lawyers all lined up. That's the key. They use their lawyers really well. The people on the left, the Democrats, they use their lawyers extremely well. And that's how they're doing it. They have a really, really good tank of lawyers. And that's kind of why I wonder if maybe the lawyers that are working with Mueller are being done that way so that ties them up, and maybe then when it comes down to the prosecutions, they won't be able to defend like Hillary and everything. Maybe it's like, some kind of, the word's escaping me. Conflict of interest. There we go. Sometimes that happens. All right. Anyway, it is kind of late tonight, actually, and I really should be in bed already, but I'm doing this. RNC hasn't been allowed to do anything about voter fraud for 26 years. Yes, and that's what I will talk about in my other video because of the consent decree. The clock fag updates, I don't know. Again, I tried watching things, and I know it has to do with numbers, it has to do with the dates, it has to do with the times. It just almost seems like something happens and then they go, "Oh, look, it says here." Well, I'd be a lot more impressed if they tell me ahead of time when things are going to happen instead of that. So, I don't know. I just still don't get it. I tried, but reminder from 2017, Patriots everywhere. Yes, we are. Patriots have planned, installed, and by the grace of God activated the beam of light. Proof February 2nd, 2017 from ABC News. I'm sorry the picture didn't come up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And my computer's been acting really weird. So, um, the convoy were service members assigned to an East Coast based naval special. Sorry. Oh, I just clicked on it. I shouldn't have done that. Let me go back to where I was. Okay, back to where I was. Sorry about that. Yeah, driving vehicles while transiting between two locations. Naval Special Warfare Units is an official Navy term for its elite SEAL special teams, special operations team. So, flying Trump flag. We'll open it up in another and see if it comes up. I don't know. I have several tabs open too. So, gunman reportedly opens fire on Harris County, Texas. Deputy sitting in car. Happening now. Suspects open fire on constable patrolling. What am I doing? Patrolling female at bus stop struck by suspect's bullet at about 4:30 p.m. today. So yeah, I've been working on stuff and kind of I had an online course that I had to run this week, and that kind of threw me off. It was a really bad week to have the course, but I enjoy doing it so much, and I enjoy meeting the people that are in it. But boy, it was really stressful. Very time consuming, and it left no time hardly for things like this. But this was like Santa Claus week, it was like asking Santa Claus to do something on December 25th. Hey Santa Claus, could you come lecture my class on December 25th? It'll only take you a few hours. You don't have anything else to do that day, do you? So that's kind of how I felt this week. It was like, of all days, of all weeks to do this. Okay. DIA, National Insider Threat Task Force. Okay. Release the Insider Threat Program Maturity Framework. It helps executive branch departments, agencies, programs become more proactive. Establishes a user activity monitoring capability on all USG endpoints, devices, and government owned IT resources connected to USG computer networks. Hmm, interesting. Okay, not going to help me much because I'm not techie enough for what that the significance of that is, but a lot of the Anons on here are. So MSM smear of Whitaker continues. Yeah, they've really been ripping on this guy, haven't they? This is a WAPO piece, hit piece, and federal investigators scrutinize Whitaker's role in patent company accused of fraud, according to people with knowledge of case. They don't want this guy, which makes me love him even more. I mean, really, seriously, if this guy is causing the left to do so much, I mean, like their heads are spinning around. It's really they're screaming, and they've been screaming from the moment he was announced. So if they're doing that, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good guy. And I think the reason is because not somebody in my comments down below, and I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, but they said that Sessions was probably the one to make sure all the paperwork got done and all of the cases were solidly built. So they had all the evidence, they have everything like it needs to be, all the ducks are in a row, and then this guy's like the closer. He comes in and he's pretty buff. If you've seen him, he's a pretty buff guy. He used to play football, college football, and he comes in and he nails it. He closes the deal. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. Now, I really hope 1111 is not just some number that Q has been saying. I really hope something happens that day. And with POTUS out of town, I almost think, or out of the country, I almost think that something probably is, and they put him over there to isolate him, to keep him a little safer than if he were here. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe nothing will. I'm not getting my hopes up at this point because it's been like that before. I still believe the Q team is really military intelligence. I do believe that because I've seen far too many things that point to it. But, I'm kind of like sometimes they set things and they do it, he's told us disinformation is important because that allows them to get the deep state people and kind of trap them. But it's a little frustrating for us because we kind of get our hopes up and then, nothing happened. But, things are happening. We're just not always seeing it. And sometimes I've learned that sometimes when Q thinks something is big, it's big in a different way than we expect big. So, to him, he sees the whole plan, and so, well, it's not just he, it's a team. The Q team sees the whole plan, so they understand how that piece fits in. I kind of frankly feel sometimes like we have this like 10,000 piece puzzle in front of us and we don't know what the end picture is supposed to look like. So all we can do is work on our little part of it, and once in a while we get pieces putting together right. And it's like, oh, I get it, I get it, I get it. And then sometimes we see a flash of what our part's supposed to look like. So it's like, oh, we can put this part together now. So, I don't know. That's kind of what I feel like sometimes with them. Let's go on. Anyway, so yeah, they're smearing him. Trump's acting attorney general involved in firm that scammed veterans out of life savings. Really? Where are they getting this stuff? I mean, that's crazy. Who briefed Nunes and Gowdy? I believe that was what? Yeah. Yeah. Cohen Watnick. What's his first name? Yeah, whatever. Uh, I can't remember. Anyway, these are the ones that are listed: Watnick, Ellis, and Eisenberg, and they're the ones that really got the ball rolling because that was. I remember Nunes when he came out. He was livid when he came out of that skiff after he'd seen the documents. This is why, hearing what they have said, I don't know what's in the documents necessarily, except maybe what Q is alluded to, but from his reaction, there's something very surprising, very it's something that's going to tick us all off. It really is. It's going to anger real true Americans. I hope it wakes up some of these people. But I'm not really so much expecting that. I don't know. I hope it does happen, but I'm hoping that's what 1111 is going to do is bring that out, or that this new guy, will Whitaker will release some of these documents. I mean, there's like 70 different witnesses that they've interviewed that they were talking about putting out the information of. I'd love to see some of those interviews. I mean, really. Keith Ellison resigns from the DNC. Yeah, he resigned. Um, and he does have this sexual assault claims. There's more than one now. And so I don't know. I really don't know whether it's going to stick or not. Last I saw, it didn't sound like it was going to stick, but who knows? He did resign from the DNC, though, his leadership position there. The short list of voter fraud that's been exposed. Oh, well, let's see what they've got here. This is good. The short list of voter fraud that's been exposed in Wisconsin, Democrats are handing out phony voter IDs so foreigners can vote in the election there. And there's a video on that one. In Texas, James O'Keefe, that's the Project Veritas, exposes Democrats, admitting they allow and even encourage illegals to vote there. And if you saw my one video, I told you about that one and gave you the link to it. And also in Texas, 9 arrested for alleged illegal voting scheme, says the state AG. And it says it's an ongoing investigation on that one, by the way, because, yeah, that's included in the video that I don't have done yet. Also in Texas, Beto staffers admit using campaign funds to aid illegals in the so-called caravan. Yeah, that's another Project Veritas video. In North Carolina, Project Veritas again exposes North Carolina Democrat campaign workers encouraging illegals to vote. So, we have several there, and a lot of them are video. So we're getting some real good video. It doesn't leave any doubt in people's minds. It's there, it's done. Law fags, break it down. What are we breaking down? How can arrests occur prior to removing the corruption from the DOJ and FBI? They can't. So the first thing they have to do is clean up the DOJ and the FBI, because the FBI investigates federal crimes, the DOJ prosecutes federal crimes. So those two steps have to be clean first, but there's still a lot of people in the FBI that need to be cleaned out, and the DOJ too, I think. So I'm not sure how much more they've got to do, but it's like, come on, I'm so impatient. How can arrests occur prior to safely securing a majority in the Supreme Court Constitution Rule of Law? Here Q is expressing, outside of public unrest inducing martial law and military tribunals coup, their only option is to secure a Supreme Court majority. Well, we have the majority now, but I'm wondering if they're going to wait until the situation with Ruth Bader Ginsburg resolves. I don't know what's going on. If she's got 3 broken ribs, legitimately, I mean, there's been some question as to whether she really does have them, or if this is her way out. If it was like McCain, the brain tumor was his way out. So is this her way out? I don't know. Anyway, it's possible, but maybe they're going to be waiting until that, because then once we get her, if we get her place, it's going to be like, yeah, wow, 6-3. That's going to be pretty incredible. And I've heard that which one, Sotomayor, is not doing well health-wise, so that could be interesting. What is the role of the Senate? The Senate essentially regulates the House and approves POTUS actions, and takes care of the Supreme Court nominees. It also confirms all the judges, which is really important because, okay, the FBI is the one that investigates federal crimes. The DOJ prosecutes federal crimes, and then we have to have judges who rule on those prosecutions. So if we don't have one of those, it doesn't matter how good your case is, they're going to get off. So we've got to have all of those in place, and they all have to be cleaned out. So I think right now, I mean, I know Trump is really pushing on those judges, trying to get a lot in there, and I don't know how much longer it's going to be. I think that's what they've been trying to get done. Congress, I'm not sure if Congress is even back for a while because of, I think they have like a break here. Um, but I don't know. They should be back soon. And um, Flynn's Flynn sentencing is supposed to be like November 20 something, somewhere in there. Um, that right there. When people ask me for a proof of Q, to me, this is the most obvious that something is going on because here is Flynn. He was buddy buddy with the president. So if Mueller is really going after Trump and he really thinks there's something to it, then shouldn't he want to sentence Flynn? Wouldn't he have tried to sentence Flynn like right off the bat and gave it? He should have given him like something really bad, a really bad sentence, so he could make an example of him. But the fact that he has put it off, what is this, 5 times now? I think it's been put off 5 times. That's really unusual. That's just something that stands out. Why would he put it off? And then, of course, in Flynn's plea agreement, it does say that he's working with, he's participating in covert law enforcement activities. Yeah, go see my videos on Flynn. I've got 2 of them on him. One is the update and then the original. But yeah, he's been working. He's been testifying about everything he knows that has been illegal. And remember, he was the head of the DIA during Obama's terms, at least for a couple years. So he knows stuff. He knows lots of stuff. So, um, so yeah, that's what we've got going there. And then here we have Overstock CEO: modern financial system is a Ponzi scheme. Huh. Modern financial system is a big Keynesian magic money tree Ponzi scheme, which it is. Uh, is a cryptocurrency believer. He believes the modern financial scheme or system uh, will is a big Keynesian magic money tree Ponzi scheme that will collapse in the coming years and trigger mass adoption of cryptocurrency. In a recent interview with crypto YouTuber Naomi Brockwell, a New York based YouTube channel focused on all things blockchain, Byrne pointed out countries like Venezuela, where crypto adoption has already flourished, should demonstrate what is coming to the developed world. I'm not sure I'd want to hold up Venezuela as a kind of a symbol of anything right now. Anyway, should be interesting. So Bitcoin is coming up. I don't know. I've heard a lot about it. I don't know a whole lot about it though. Gotta admit, finances are not my thing. Fraud expert: Snipes allowed illegals to vote. Well, yeah, duh. We know that they did. Fraud expert says illegally destroyed ballots. 3 statewide races in Florida are headed to a recount, and all depend on results from a county whose supervisor of elections has a history of losing ballots and breaking laws by allowing illegal immigrants and felons to vote, as well as illegally destroying ballots. Broward County Supervisor of Elections Brenda Snipes' office has admitted they don't know how many ballots there are still to count. That woman, she's the one that destroyed all those ballots from the Debbie Wasserman Schultz thing while there was still a lawsuit going on. She destroyed them. Yeah, she sounds like she's a friend of Hillary's, right? With the bleach bit and everything. POTUS and FLOTUS Punisher meme. This was pretty cool. See, they put the Punisher meme on the back of their coats. It was so cute. They were walking along hand in hand. It was so cute. He grabbed her hand. So that's pretty funny. Snipes previous was accused of having more voters on the rolls than eligible citizens. Oh, really? Yes, that was the lady that was in there before. Her name was Oliphant or something like that. And yeah, the Florida official put in charge of counting votes in Broward County, the most liberal county in the state, for the gubernatorial and Senate race was previously accused of having more voters on her rolls than eligible voters in the county. So yeah, she was removed and then they put this woman in. Jebby Bush is the one who put her in there, good old deep state Jeb. And so I don't know. She's definitely a deep state operative. I mean, she has to be. She keeps getting reelected. What's wrong with these people? She has a whole list of offenses and things that she's been to court over because they just she doesn't do it right. And there's been so many questions and so much fraud going on there. It's just yeah. I hope they get her this time. And then this time here I saw this. This Brenda Snipes. This is the lady who's running the Broward County thing uh, election. She misses deadline, won't turn over ballots, and Matt Gaetz is filing contempt of court against her. Good for him. A judge found Broward County in violation of the Constitution and ordered Brenda Snipes to allow ballot inspections immediately during an emergency hearing on Friday. Broward County Election Supervisor Brenda Snipes must allow inspections on or before 7 p.m. Eastern Friday, but Snipes did not turn over the ballots on Friday night. Matt Gaetz is outside the Broward County Elections headquarters where Brenda Snipes is holed up inside stuffing ballots and refusing to turn records over to state officials. Gaetz is going to a court immediately to get a motion of contempt against her. Gaetz also said that he's not allowed into the election headquarters but saw Democrat attorneys entering offices all day and didn't see any Republicans. Yeah, this is going. And then these up here, this is just global. That's just stuff that they want the Anons to know. By the way, if you've not seen this video, We Are the Plan, that's the second in the Q videos by Joe M. Really a good video. So I'll put the link down below for that. It's he does really great videos and they're great to share with other people. So I told you it's a short one tonight because there's not very much here. Most of it was because they were excited about Q posting, and he did have some posts here that you can go see, and again I'll have a link down below. This was interesting because he has this is the voting map and you can see all the red on it, and then over here this is where the illegal populations are. Isn't that interesting? Kind of corresponds. Blue with blue. And this is a nice little meme that I've had around for a while and Q has posted before. And these are just things that you have to have an ID for, and nobody thinks these are racist. And believe me, the people that they are saying can't get a voter ID are the very people who are buying these things and are doing these things. So it's not an excuse. It is not. They're just scared. They don't want to lose their voter base because the minute we get voter IDs, that cuts out a lot of problems. Really does. So anyway, yeah, Q had some new ones in here. These are some good questions. They're kind of reviews, I think, because we've got a lot of new eyes on, and if you're new to the Q movement, you may not know a lot of this stuff, but we know all the answers to these. Well, most of them. I know most of them. I may not know all of them, but yeah, it's coming down to the wire. We've got some stuff going on here, folks. The world is watching. The world is witnessing the true identity of the Democrat Party war. Yep, we're gonna see some. There is a voter fraud war that's going on right now, and I knew it was going to happen. This part, I knew this was going to happen. I may not have seen Sessions leaving, but I did know that. have known about this because this is almost, I think it's a trap. I think they set it up because they knew the Democrats would take the bait, and so that's what they're doing. Anyway, that's Q, and I know some of my viewers hate hearing about Q, but they think he's a LARP and everything. But you know what? I've seen too much. And every time I see more confirmations, and this new guy, this Whitaker guy, we already knew that he was Senate confirmed a long time ago, and he can be in there for 200 days. I believe that's what the number was, if I remember correctly. So he can be in there for a little while, and that will get us through into the new year and new crop of people, and we'll have the Senate really solid, and we'll probably have a new justice. So, whew, things are happening. Anyway, I want to thank you for stopping by and have a good evening. I will see you later.